TNT, episode 11. First of all, we've got a special guest on today, Tommy Boy.
We do indeed, mate.
Scotland's national treasure, the Natty King,
Natty Mr O,
Josh Campbell.
Thank you for having me.
How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
How are we all doing? Good?
We're good, mate. We're good. Better than we've got you on. I think we spoke about that since we started. Josh is somebody we want on.
Appreciate that.
Also a young guy, achieved a lot. We'd like to kind of delve into that today. First of all, but after all the malarkey, the like, share, subscribe, it helps the podcast out. Majorly, we've also got our sponsors to thank, Pit Stop, who
Representing.
they've donated something nice for us to try out. I've generally not tried this yet.
I've tried it. I'm not even going to. I'm
Right,
not
we're
going
going in,
to.
what,
This
mate,
is
I've not-
brilliant. I've never had this before. This is great.
Right, well, Bulletproof have made us up 3 Rise and Shines. It's a new
That's
flavour we've
lovely.
got, which is
Brilliant.
blackberry cherry.
Can I keep the shaker?
You can keep
Does
shit-
I
No,
Pit
it's
Stop,
theirs,
aye.
you can't keep
Oh,
it.
is it?
Aye.
Damn, keep your shaker. No, I'm kidding.
Never sees it again.
So none of us have tried this yet. It's out tomorrow.
Right, okay.
Same stack as the previous. I'm a peach iced tea man at heart, so it's going to take a lot here to beat me. But
Yep.
we'll give it a go. See what we are.
Let's do it then.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. That's us going for down
See,
the.
the thing
It's
is-
an interesting one. It doesn't really taste like blackberry cherry, like your normal standard. It's like a wee bit different. They asked Finn and Matt and Noah what they thought it was. Matt thought it was Skittles, and Finn thought it was like a kind of gummy bear one. So it's like a sweet. I can't describe it, but try it. See what you
I'll
think.
tell you right now.
So I've seen it at grown-ups when they're sat up at night and they all drink together at the
That's
same
good.
time. That's nice, isn't it?
That's nice.
Yeah. Again, he's going to the whole bottle. Go on, son.
You got to piss your bed tonight, Tommy. You got to taste that. You've downed it.
Go on, son. Is that one mate I gaff? It just downs everything.
Right, we'll take a toilet break
That's
today.
fucking lovely, that. That's brilliant. He's
on,
absolutely fucking hot the nail on the head.
I
There
get the
you
cherry
go.
off it. I like it.
Oh,
Who's
mate,
gonna
that's
be-
magic, man.
So locked in this podcast.
Oh, mate, you've
The
got to get
topics are
halfway
flowing.
halfway through, mate. I'm going to be sitting there flaring my laptop at me, just fucking wild.
It's an online coach right
So
there.
I Friday is out tomorrow.
Yep.
You've got 2 codes to use. You can use TNT10, which is the preferred one, or Josh.
Start fighting over
What's
this
your,
one.
what's your code?
I've got Josh 10.
Nah, I don't use that one.
Mate, do you know
we'll see.
something? Through the week, one of the boys that goes to the gym and put up something, I talk about him, man. He's actually one of your clients.
Right, okay.
And I've texted him. I was like, that better be my code TNT10. He's like, I've got Josh 10 on my ass or something. I'm just like, fuck off.
Fuck you.
I was going to stand outside the pit stop the other day. Anybody
sign.
walking in, just escort them in and say, right, buy something. TNT10.
We should just hire the billboard outside the place, mate, innit?
Random people in like the retail park don't even know what pit stop is.
We'll get you there with one of the big spinny arrows on.
Yeah.
TNT10 across it.
Oh, what, man?
They've got the other flavour as well, lemon and lime.
Yep.
That's actually really nice. That's like, I'd say the lemon and lime is more accurate to the actual flavour. Again, that's like a little bit different. Like there is still, I think there's a bit of a cherry like kick to the back it, but the lemon and lime is very lemon and limey.
Right, okay.
But that's nice.
I do
Again,
like that.
mate, I value it so much. I think
Really good. innit?
hydration is
Yeah.
so important, but especially Rise and Shine. It's the
I
best
feel
one
a bit
after.
lost without it. Like this is going to sound pure like salesy and this and that just because it's one, but I generally do feel quite lost like without Rise
Yeah,
and Shine.
I'm going on holiday next week, and I can't think anything better than waking up, sitting by the pool. I'm going to have a pint sitting. I'm also going to ask for a glass of ice, and I'm just going to tank my Rise and Shine in that.
Both at the same time.
Here we go.
That's perfect.
Straight back on it.
Wonderful.
Anyway, more about you, Josh. Let's delve into bodybuilding side of things. Obviously, you've achieved a lot for a young guy. So,
Thank you.
if you don't mind, give us a wee insight how, first of all, what that was and the kind of story behind it all and how it all kind of grew.
So I don't know. We start maybe like with when I started training.
Yep.
Yeah. So started training lockdown 2020. That was like my brother and his mate got like a dodgy set of weights just off of some dodgy Polish guy. And I'd started training like a little bit at that point. Pure rusty old weights, like touch one of them wrong and you're just getting like, what is the it's not tinnitus. That's what you get in your
No,
ear.
I know what you're talking about. But
I can't think what the disease is that you get, but they were so dodgy. Started training with them in lockdown 2020. I was 15 years old at that point.
You still got them?
Yeah. We do. They sit back in the shed, but I don't think I'll ever touch them again. They give me like rabies if I go near them. But yeah, that was lockdown 2020. Started training for a bit. Then I started posting content on TikTok actually really early. Just like daft, relatable stuff. Like built up a following there, and then I kind of thought to myself, I'd quite like to, work in the fitness industry. This and that. At that point, like I'd only been training for a couple months, like to a year. But I was like, I quite like this, and I think I want to kind of pursue it. So I continued training. Gyms opened back up probably like a year later. By that point, like I'd built up like a decent physique itself, decent following, so on and so forth. Thought I'd start to take it a little bit more seriously and got my first coach. So that was just a guy at the gym, shout out Cruz. That was really good. Like started to kind of do what you guys do, what I do, kind of track macronutrients a little bit more, like actually have a structured training split, so on and so forth. Started to take things a bit more seriously. After a while, got myself like a bodybuilding coach, because I always thought to myself, like, I kind of like to do it, but I never thought, like, all right, I'm actually going to set out a time. Like, it was always something, you say you're going to do something, but you never really get round to it. But then Finn, he said to me, he was like, right, let's do it, let's set out a time period. Competed in 2023. I got myself 7 titles, so 5 across the UK, 1 in Romania, and then 1 in Vegas as well.
That's fucking sick, bro. That's so class, man.
Did you have... What was your intentions of going into these shows? Was it just, I want to do this because I want to just test the water, see everything you are? And did that just... Was it a case of just running with it once you started to see how it all was panning out?
I thought that I was going to be... You ever just seen, like, on Instagram, pure, like, reels that are viral because the person looks so awful? Like, like they've never... trained once in their life and they've got no tan on and they're like fat and they're on stage. I was like, I'm going to look like that. Like, I really did think that there's no chance I'm ready for this, because I was 18 at the time. Like, obviously I'd trained for maybe 2 or 3 years, but I thought you had to be this massive, huge guy. That if you're going into a bodybuilding show, you need to be like 100 kg, like full of roids, this and that. So I was like, I thought there's no chance that I can actually compete with any of these people, because I didn't really know about natural bodybuilding. I didn't know the difference between the women's basketball league and the WNBF, because they both sound very similar. The WNBF, the natural bodybuilding. I remember I said to someone, I was like, I'm going to compete in this, and then I was sat there an hour later, I was like, I've just told them I'm going to compete in the women's basketball league. I was like, that's awful. So yeah, I didn't really know what to expect, but it was just a case of like wanting to kind of push my boundaries a little bit more, like see what I could do, use that as like a foot in the door to bodybuilding, and then it ended up going the way it did, obviously, which was sick. But yeah, I don't really know. It was more so just a case of try it,
Yeah. What was like, obviously, the first shows led to you then getting to the Natural Olympia?
Yeah, so we done the WNBF first timers show. That was, I think, 14 weeks into prep, which for like a natural prep is like quite early on. Like they're usually a good chunk longer. Like I know the kind of standards, maybe like assisted prep a few years ago would usually be like you diet for 12 weeks, something like that. Yep. My prep was 30, to be fair, it was too long this one, but it was 33 weeks in total, just because it ended up getting like strung out a little bit to get to the Natural Olympia. But we've done the WNBF first timers, that was just a kind of warm up show, but ended up that's when it all kind of happened and kind of blew up, because I won the overall at that show. Then went into the UK DFBA, the WNBF. From the UK DFBA show, ended up winning the British Championship, and that took me to Romania. So like they flew me out for like free and stuff like that. So I was like, why would I not do it? Like it's a really good opportunity to compete abroad as well, to again kind of see what that's like. So done that. That was really good. I cooked myself so badly because we went to like a big shop to get all our stuff, but it was like this big giant Costco thing. So I was already super flat, super run down, done loads of steps there, did not look very good at all. Still secured that one because the standard wasn't quite as good like abroad. Then that went to the Natural Olympia after I won that. That was kind of like the invitation to that as well.
What was the process like being up on that stage?
Oh, it was funky. Like being, especially the first one, especially because bodybuilding, like when you think about it, it's a strange sport, isn't it? Like,
yep.
I know,
we pair of panties all oiled up with loads of like men judging you, and he looks great.
And what if you saying that? What was your reason? Once you get into, you seen like, I can really take this as far as you did. What was the overarching reason? What made you go? Was it for validation? Was it a...
I feel like, yeah, a lot of people do it for just say like the trophies, or do it for you know, to get that social media following or to look like their favourite bodybuilder. But you kind of get like just a bit more passion for it once you do it first. Like it's like anything, like when you start training and it's like, why do you continue to train? Because you're kind of pushing for more numbers. You want to enjoy it. You want to reach this goal. You want to do this and that. It's not like for one main reason as to like this is the end goal. It's more so just kind of enjoying it. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that and they don't really understand that. But once I got into it, it was just like how much further can I push it? Like how much better condition can I get? And could I, you know, push for these titles? Could I go for world championship titles, so on and so forth? It's again just always kind of pushing that boat out a little bit further and seeing where I could take it.
You spoke about that, Tommy, like how much you are so interested in the natural side of things.
Oh, crazy, mate. I genuinely do believe it is the future of bodybuilding. Like,
It's getting really popular.
with if you look at any sport across all sports, mate, like anything that was unnatural 20 years ago or so, there's no hanging anymore. Like the UFC is a prime example. It's just an easy example. Like, if 20 years ago, guys were just fucking juiced to the gills, mate, beating the shit out of each other. And now, I can't I can't remember who it was, but somebody got done for eating kangaroo meat because it fucks up in their blood. Like in the UFC, like there's, I think now everybody views fitness in a much greater light than what they once did. Whereas before it was just like, oh, go to the gym, you're fucking massive, you're full of roids. That was just like the stereotypical thing to say. Now there's so much more to it than that, and like it reaches such a larger audience, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think, especially in Scotland, you had a big influence on that?
I think for like maybe around this area.
Bro, you lead the way for natural bodybuilding for Scotland.
Thank you.
No, like seriously though, I'm not even just fucking.
When I think, even though I'm a bit older than you, when I think of natural bodybuilding, I don't really go 5 years above me, but I'd go Josh.
Thank you.
Like genuinely
Puts a smile on my face. That's pretty sick to hear. Yeah, like again, I didn't really have anyone in the Scottish bodybuilding scene that I knew at the time when I started my prep. Like obviously I now work with Noah and like he's my best mate and he'd prepped before, but even at that point I didn't know he was prepping. I didn't know what a bodybuilding prep was or this and that. But I think it's good to put content out there that's actually valuable for people to know like what they're kind of getting into, because I would have benefited from that a lot, you know. To know actually what's happening like within that contest prep, what to expect, show days, so on and so forth. I think it's good to educate people in it, definitely.
And is that the goal now? Well, obviously, you came out that bodybuilding show. Don't know if you've ever heard a thing like the Nova effect, where you see it's like going on this like holiday of a lifetime, and then you see this dip in sadness after it.
Yeah.
So it's like this.
The post-show blues.
You have reached, and that's, I believe it's really prevalent in bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's
I think
difficult.
it's
You see it all the time.
probably why people keep getting back up in that stage. They want this buzz for it.
Definitely.
You've obviously reached Olympia stage. How did you feel after it? Was there that decline, or was there?
It's an interesting one because obviously, or not obviously, some people won't know, like I competed in the teens side of things.
Yep.
So that's up to 20-year-olds. There was then the juniors that's after that, that's up to 24, and then it goes to the open men's bodybuilding class where that's just whatever age. So I done the teens for the most part, and although there was 2 shows that I won the overall at, which is again for people who don't know, like the winner of each class, so the teens, the juniors, the everyone's, you know, the height classes, whatever it may be, classic bodybuilding, you all go into the one, you battle it out and see who wins from there. Although I'd won 2 of them, when I went to the Natural Olympia, the standard of the men's bodybuilding was really good, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to try it. Like, I'm going to see how it goes. Didn't place at all. So, like, that kind of did give me, like, that little bit of fire. Like, I feel like if a lot of people come out of that season, they'll be like, you know, like, won everything, nothing else to do. But obviously coming out of that and not placing there, realising that, there was people a lot bigger than me, a lot more experienced than me, and you could really see the difference. Like, I just looked young. Like, I didn't have as much muscle maturity as them, so on and so forth. So I was like, as soon as I came off there, I'm like, I really need to be bigger.
And
so
how,
like,
obviously, sorry to interrupt, you took that bit, people want to call it a loss, but something that you think, right, well, I do belong here, but you've maybe not hit the peak. So there is that, we always say
there's
it out
always
cliche.
like room to improve realistically. Like again, even within like the UK, incredible standards, but then when you go to the worlds and you've got people from literally all over the world, and there's these people that you've never heard of before, some guy that's never used Instagram in his life, but he's trained for 25 years and he's an absolute monster, and he turns up, you're like, holy shit, no, there is way better than me. Like, you need to realise and kind of have a little bit of a slice of that humble pie where it's like, right, I'm not the best there is or this and that, because you need to look at that bigger picture, definitely.
But I think that's something that's obviously quite bad nowadays, and I think you do have quite a older head on your shoulders.
Okay.
You start that, how cliche it is, the whole going through the process, and that is where obviously the journey is. But like, if I took you and just put you on stage, surrounded by all these people, even if you had the best physique in the world, you wouldn't have the skill set to handle the pressure, being in the moment. So everything you gain along the way, how much people don't, it looks back and you go, right, that was me preparing. So whatever comes through you in the future, you can look back and go, well, that makes a bit more sense now.
That's why I think a lot of people struggle, like, if they don't place. Because bodybuilding, it's like you could literally devote your whole entire life to it and this and that. Other persons get better genetics than you and you're not winning.
Yeah.
When people come out of their prep and they've not maybe achieved what they wanted to achieve, or if they've not won that medal, they're like, they lose the plot. Like,
so I always tell myself, every time I turn up, it's just these genetic freaks running about me. Don't know, I need to pick better shows.
I'll do one with you.
I'll probably get beat.
The McDonald's classic. Definitely. No, I think especially in bodybuilding, that's so true, mate. Like, I know obviously this is an extreme example, but you look at guys like Kai Green with Phil. Like, I've heard Phil, I think it's in Chris Williamson's podcast. Mm-hmm. Shout out Chris if you want to come on the podcast.
Yes.
I've heard him say before, I've heard Phil say before that, like, muscle density wise, that Kai
Kai's
had
better
than Ronnie.
One of the best ever.
Aye, he said, like, as in how dense he was is like ridiculous, but he just came up, like you said, you're just at no the wrong time, it's no like that, but there's guys out there that are more genetically blessed than others, and I think that's so hard for people to accept.
Kai Green.
Did you?
But 8 months ago, I was in a lift in Manchester.
Right.
Actually, I think, was it maybe the UK DFBA show was on?
Oh shit, you're being serious
Kai
now?
Green just sat up on stage.
No, I was went to get. I was in a hotel. I wasn't competing. I had to get beat. And I pressed the lift. I opened up, and the lift's full, but at the front it's Kai Green just sitting looking like that. And I've never seen a smaller man in my life.
Short.
You know when you see something, you go like, just short. But he had a jumper on. I'm going,
mate, that's I didn't know that.
and then the door just shut because I'm bigger than you. I'm not fitting in that, mate.
Little man.
Shut up.
That's the thing. I think with like pure open bodybuilders when they're short, see, because they're so wide, I think it makes them look even shorter. Because they're actually wider than they are fucking tall. It's crazy.
That's crazy,
I
man.
expected like
Big monster.
big monster.
Aye.
But then you go like, how like, guys like Ronnie and all that, like,
Mate, I know.
freaks.
As it obviously, mate, Ronnie at Muscle Labs a couple of months ago, mate, his hands are like the size of eight tables, mate. He shook my hand, mate. He just cradled it, mate. He just shook my fabs like that. Thanks. So big, man.
Like Samson, he's 300 pounds on stage.
Bro,
Wild, isn't it?
that's fine.
Do you think that's a
mental?
taller guys struggle? What height are you?
Yeah, I'm a tall guy. I'm a 5'8".
5'8". Aye, that's quite a good height.
Massive.
Maybe when you do see big guys that are
Yeah, it's
6
more
foot plus,
difficult,
it's
isn't it?
tough, especially
There's
that.
pros and cons, aren't there? Like 5'8", although I'm short, like it kind of fill out a little bit easier. Even though I do struggle to like gain weight and stuff like that. But then you do see people that are like, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4",
Big
6'5". Like,
Andrew Jack, I think he spoke about this before because he's a bigger guy. He's always saying
he's good and high bodybuilder. Him.
aye,
He's brilliant.
Nah, I know, it's crazy, man. Me, I'm good. I fill out well with chickens legs.
So moving on to you came out of the end of the Olympia.
Yep.
Coaching, did that see a huge kind of surge in your business after that?
That was more so like after that first WMBF win, like when I won that overall. I think that set me into the industry, sort of. Like people had maybe seen the reels that I was putting up beforehand, like when I was leaning, people maybe taking me a little bit more seriously and like, oh, he looks good, this and that. But then when that first came about, because I wasn't involved within bodybuilding or anything like I am just now. I didn't really know much about it, didn't really know what was going on, didn't have much connections in it, this and that. But then when I won that show, I remember the post got like 3,000 likes or something when I posted it. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah. And then I had like a few reels between that blew up a lot. There was a lot of interest from them, but it was because it was like going all over the world. They were getting like a few million views. I remember one day I got like 60 to 70 inquiries for coaching, but they were all just like 13-year-olds for like Brazil. So nobody replied, and I was like, I purely expected it as well. But I think when that first WMBF win came about, that's when coaching definitely started to take a bit of an increase.
Did you then take on the Brazilians?
Oh, I didn't, sadly. No.
They
Yeah.
teach you
I think like the
teach you
monthly
Portuguese.
Yeah, the monthly price would have been like 3 times their monthly wage or something. They're doing like the paper rounds in Brazil or something.
The paper rounds in Brazil. Played football, man. You could have coached Neymar.
I don't know. He was probably nasty at football. All of them. Create the next one.
Did you ever play football?
Yeah, I did when I was younger. I'd stopped when I was like 9, 10 because I'd get shit hot nasty at golf. So sacked off football.
See, like, no one that takes bodybuilding serious was ever a good football player.
I think Finn was decent. He said that, or maybe he was saying he's decent just to like cope and make up for it. Aye.
You just said that as well, but you didn't say I was shit.
Yeah, I know that I wasn't great at football, to be fair.
I was shit hot, mate. So
Yeah.
I had 100% goal to game ratio because I played 2 games a year and both games I scored a penalty.
What a guy.
So,
The 5.
Brilliant.
nah. Fools. No, I'm kidding. No, mate. Nah, mate. It was a living aside, man. So it was. And I used to play like the friendlies at the start of the
You
season.
ever seen the 5-a-side games, and it's the one they wear the big inflatable.
Oh, mate.
What, round
That's
them, the
chaos,
big-
man.
Big hamster.
Aye. You should get out of bodybuilders a girl and get a game in it.
That'd be incredible. Incredible. Used to play for St Mirren Youth Club, but they were shite. It wasn't like what was it called, the Pro Youth or something.
Aye.
Never got anywhere near that. Any chance? It wasn't my thing. Golf I got pretty good at. Like that was my first kind of serious sport that I was like quite committed to. When I was younger, I played like for Renfrewshire and stuff. But then I think I stopped that when I was like 13, 14 because I kept becoming bent off my mates. That was great. Realistically, I just didn't really enjoy it anymore. Like in all honesty, like I was 13, 14-year-old. I just wanted to be waking up at like 1, 2 p.m. in the middle of the weekends, but like I had to be up at 6 a.m. and it's pissing or raining and I need to go play golf and it's freezing and my hands are hurting. And I was like,
Then you get up at 6 a.m. and do your steps.
I know, get my check-ins done.
My life changes.
Online coach.
Obviously, after bodybuilding things, work took a big surge, and then natural physique's become a thing the last few months. Sorry,
Yes,
you
so
want to delve into that? What it is? Obviously, seen you up in the gym
got
a
the.
few times. You got the logo on.
There we go. Representing.
But explain to us all what that is, what it stands for, and the kind of the goals behind it all. 'Cause there's a few of you in it, isn't there?
Yeah, there's myself, Noah, Finn, and Matt. So myself, Finn, and Noah are the main like actual coaches. So like the physique coaches. Finn kind of being the high end bodybuilding prep. Myself being bodybuilding prep, a little bit of lifestyle. Noah being like first time prep, photo shoot, lifestyle. Just due to like experience like within the game. Finn's been coaching for like 7, 8 years and coached bodybuilders for 4, 5 seasons in a row now. But pretty much I said to Finn like in a check-in one point, because Finn coaches me as well, has coached me for the past 2.5 years. I said to him in a check-in, I was like, work's getting really busy, really stressful, like I'm kind of struggling with it, might take on a co-coach, so on and so forth. And he was like, why shouldn't we all kind of come together and we can take the stress off of each other a little bit? Because he was feeling the same. And it's good to obviously we get along really, really well. And he was like, well, we could kind of all work together. We can bring co-coaches on in future. Like we've got that option there. We can have content days like each month. We can have weekly calls because coaching is realistically quite like a lonely job in the sense that you've not got like, you know, mates that you can mess about with and work. Like, you know, back at Curry's, although like I don't really miss it. Like I miss just like messing about with people, just doing daft shit, like social interaction face to face. Whereas with coaching,
porn on the TVs.
yeah, brilliant. And the big speakers, it was Curry's eye. It was the mainstream one, bang. I do remember playing Ziz, like see like all like the pure Ziz hard style stuff, like the shot
Manager
was
chasing Joskies and the Nintendo Wii on. Practicing his golf. Then he's good at football.
brilliant. But no, I did miss like the kind of, or I do still somewhat miss like the social interaction side of things, but with natural physique coaching we thought we might as well kind of come together, we all get along really well with each other, do content days, have big meetups like multiple times throughout the year. So like each quarter we'll be having big meetups and all throughout the UK. Finn and Reese are opening up their own gym just now as
I
well.
was gonna say that, I seen that,
Saying
man.
that 2 of you are down south and 2 of you are in Scotland.
Yeah,
aren't you?
so they've got their gym opening up within the next few months. So I think we'll probably base like the most of the meetups out of there. That's Loughborough as well, so it's kind of central of the central England. So obviously I've got Noah and myself up top. So they came up last weekend, record content, so on and so forth. We had them meet up in January. There was 70, 80 people there. That was only about 2 weeks notice or so. So I think this next one should be like 100 people plus. We've got the Natural Physique Hub now as well. So like a kind of a big community hub for all of our clients, where we put on podcasts weekly, we put on like educational videos, so we all run our own series, so Noah does like nutrition, myself I do training, Finn does contest prep, Matt does posing, so Matt's the posing coach, so you know yourself, posing.
Just the Irish Seabum, is that
yes,
that?
Beacom. I love calling him that. But yeah, he's the posing coach, so he, like, our clients get kind of discount on that, but he offers, you know, monthly posing services, like a budget one, a standard one, a premium one. He does like one-off sessions and stuff, because people don't realise that posing is extremely important within bodybuilding. Like, there's so many, like, see, because I go to a lot of the shows throughout the year for like the natural shows, just to support, and then obviously having clients and stuff there, and you see some like monsters, some really, really, really good bodybuilders that just get no clue how to pose.
Aye.
Usually the older guys as well, because they're just pure ooga booga lift weight, like then they'll hit like a wee pose or this and that, but they don't practice it. They're there to, and it's fair enough, because all they want to do is just lift weights and fucking pump iron and this and that, but they end up not placing, or like they don't do as well as they should. You're like, mate, see if you could pose, you would smack everyone. But like, there's some people that are really bad for it, so obviously Matt there to help people with that, because that's what Finn was saying, like when he prepped Matt, he used to go on a call with him weekly to help him with his posing, but like we just don't have the time to realistically do that anymore. That's when we only had, you know, 5-10 clients, so having someone literally dedicated to doing that, I think is really good. So yeah, we all kind of work together in that sense now. Like nothing really changes. Like my clients are still my clients, Finn's clients are still his clients. We're just the same coaches, but underneath the one kind of brand.
I was thinking that means we're up on Saturday at JP's. Like, it's such a nice thing, because you know how this industry can be quite toxic, and everybody can be quite out to get each other. Not out to get each other, but it's like they stick the boot in when they feel they're maybe not doing things right, and it's always a reflection in them. See, for you four boys to come together and actually just build something that guys are caring about, because it is hard nowadays. Like, young boys can feel a wee bit lost, or they don't know where to go down. There you go. Like, within a year, there's 100 guys coming in.
Yeah, you're all seeing each other, and that's the thing. Like like a lot of people that are kind of into, say, bodybuilding or just looking after themselves and training, like they'll come from having their friend group of like all the people that they've known from school, and you all go out drinking and this and that. As soon as you start to maybe try pull away from that, it's very easy to kind of detach from your mates, and you struggle to see them and this and that. Then you kind of start to build up more relationships just through like when you're posting stuff on Instagram, or like you're interacting with people on there, and like you kind of have just that interaction there, but then to be able to actually see them in person, like when we do these big meetups, I think it's really, really cool, like because everyone gets to meet each other, and then again it's just building up those relationships and being able to actually
speak about that, don't we? Like kind of your circle.
Aye.
That's obviously something you've been very kind of proving the point that if you can just come together, like-minded people, good attitude towards each other, it can only propel you. And
it definitely makes a difference. Like who you surround yourself with, it's a reflection of you and what you do as well. Like if you get people trying to bring you down, or it's all just very toxic and this and that, then it's going to rub off on you. But I think this is what Noah was saying as well. Like when we recorded our podcast last night for like the Hub, it was talking about like the friend group that we've got, even like people outside of Scotland. Like we've got a kind of group chat where it's just all people that we get along with. They're all online coaches, but we're not pure trying to take digs at each other or put other people down or this and that. It's literally all just like having a giggle, like helping each other out, reposting all of each other's stuff. Like,
mate, that's what you need, man. That's
we spoke. Some of my best mates are coaches or whatever. Like, you know how hard it is when you're building a business, whatever it is. I don't care if you're a joiner or a
it's competitive.
It's so hard. So see, having people who you think are in your corner not supporting it, it's a hard pill to swallow. And of course, you just need to soldier on and do the work yourself. But it does help. It's huge. Even if it's just a motivation side of things, to go knowing that your mates are clapping for you, because you know the world can be cruel. No, everybody's going to clap for you. So it's.
I think I remember you saying that it was yourself or Taylor, like having those people clapping for you, but also clapping for yourself at times as well. Like. Trying to be aware of that, because it's very easy just to get in that rut and that hole of like, right, I need to do more, I need to do more, I need to do more. Like, you don't take a step back to kind of realise where you are. Like, even with myself, things are busy, things are stressful, but I used to dream of being in this position. I kind of take that for granted, like trying to be present with that, but again, without people to kind of remind you of that and to kind of take you out of it a little bit. Do you want to go do something, mate? Like, apart from just, check-ins or messaging clients or training or this and that, like, it's nice to have people that force you to do a bit of that.
Do you still have that side? Obviously, like I said, you boys have all done brilliant and well done to you, but is there still that aspect of, is there other things you want to do, whether it's in the future, or is it just bodybuilding's
Just volleyball 24/7, bro. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Tupperware.
I've even got my chicken rice down there. But no, yeah, like I think having different hobbies outside of the gym is big. I'm going to be traveling. This is an interesting one. I was supposed to, because Noah like travels. Some people might not know him. I think you two both are aware of Noah like traveling to Japan, and he likes to just travel and do loads of daft stuff. So we were supposed to go into Raylan, and I think this is in 2 weeks' time, 2 or 3 weeks' time. So it's actually a lot quicker than it's came around a lot quicker than I thought. But we're supposed to go into Raylan through Europe. We sacked that off, and we're now going to see the pyramids, which is interesting. Just a random one. He called me and was like, "Mate, do you want to go see the pyramids?" I was like, "Fuck it, hi." But like traveling. I still enjoy golf as well. So like when the summer nights come round, I really enjoy, because golf is good in the sense that like I can't play like a full round anymore. I don't really have much time to like set out a complete block of 4 hours, because you know even on the weekend I might be training, or I get client setups to do this and that. Like it's hard to separate that time. But even literally see like maybe once, twice a week at night, 45 minutes, go down to the golf course, play 4 holes, no noise, you know, just there, nothing. Don't bring my phone with me. Hit a few golf balls, have some time to myself. I think having that there is definitely like a very, very beneficial for mental health, for realistically everything there. So enjoying golf, traveling, going places with family, even again with like the bodybuilding competitions, enjoying them, being present with them, going down and seeing Finn, seeing all my clients and stuff like that. Like it's difficult when obviously your job is your hobby, and it can kind of merge together, and the line kind of gets blurred a little bit. But I think managing that can be difficult, but still having your own hobbies and to do stuff outside that, I think is something I'm still trying to improve. And like I'm still not perfect, not at all. I don't think any of us are. But trying to find that balance of not living and breathing bodybuilding, but also not sacking it off completely to go on and do other stuff. And I think finding that balance is definitely key for people.
I feel like people, especially in bodybuilding, end up like just so obsessed with the process and nothing else, and it like affects their character almost. Like I'm speaking as if a fucking bodybuilder, but you know what I mean. Like
like you still do everything that a bodybuilder would do in that sense. Like man. You train, you eat well, you look after yourself, you sleep well, so on and so forth. It's all just the same stuff.
I've had obviously a completely different process for like most people and my training, but even I got to a stage where it was like all I'm doing is training and watching videos of the gym and killing it. And that was like, I was so, and it was good and I loved it and blah blah blah, but I was really quick to realise like I'm training to benefit my life outside the gym here. Like it doesn't need to solely be about this. Like for me right now, that's not the case. Like just do what I'm doing, tick the boxes, but still enjoy my time in what I'm doing. And
it can become your character that you.
It's all
you've got to offer.
Aye.
And that's good if you're going to stay in that field forever. But I think it's important just to, even for a networking standpoint, or just to meet people that
you kind of have a conversation with someone.
You have to be able, 100%.
It's only about the gym. Like you don't know what else to talk about.
Aye, mate. That's
difficult, isn't it?
I'm no, again, try to blow smoke up your ass, I didn't like that, but you've literally won the highest level of title in your area of bodybuilding, mate. But if somebody walked by me and like, I don't know, for an example, if I had a conversation with you, just regardless to the gym, didn't know who you were or nothing like that, I wouldn't know that was your character. Whereas there's some people you talk to and like instantly it's just, nah, can I drink, train tomorrow.
I work hard on you, bro. I want it so bad.
Aye. Like, do you know what I mean? It's weird, man.
Do you give that? Sorry, would you give that advice to younger guys who? Because it is easy when you find something you've got to be a bit passionate about to just immerse yourself in it. I personally couldn't do it forever, but I thought like just other things started kind of firing in my belly. Where I went, right, if I don't listen to these, I'm then going against what I kind of want to try and believe in. But would you say that to younger guys? If you,
definitely.
If something's there, go for it.
I think it's also not being like stubborn in the sense that like if you are pure loving it and you're 100 mile an hour and this and that, then you start to feel a bit shit and you're like, do I enjoy this anymore? Do I want to be this kind of like absolutely perfect with it all? If you're not actually enjoying it, then don't do that. Like you need to find that balance. Again, this is kind of something similar that we spoke about last night as well, where it's like between prep and off season, there needs to be a bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
When you're in a prep, like you need to realistically just crack the fuck on. It doesn't really matter about that stuff. And again, there comes to a point where if you're not speaking to anyone, like that's daft. Like you, just because you're prepping, other people don't need to suffer for that. Like you don't need to become all moany and blame things on other people. Like it's your choice to do it, but you do need to kind of maybe take away those social events a little bit more often and not go out for meals or do this and that. But within an off season, I think enjoy yourself a little bit more. Be able to go out for these social events, go out for a drink and do all these other things, like still live your life. You don't need to be locked in 24/7. Like all these people are saying that, like pure Batman, this and that. Like it doesn't doesn't need to be like that, mate. Like everyone's pure like drowning in oversized gasp and like they want it bad and they're so much more than everyone else. Like you can definitely get into it and understand that as well. Like I don't know about you, is like when you found a sport when you were a kid or you found something you get pure into it. Like I was always the same, like with scootering, with trampolining, like pure daft stuff like that. See, for like, I mean, my dad bought me like a big brilliant trampoline and I was pure every single day on it for 4 weeks and I was like, I can't be bothered doing that anymore. Like I don't want to do it. And I'm not saying that you should obviously bodybuild for a couple of weeks and then sack it off, but I think if it gets to a point where you are reconsidering things and you're like, I don't really enjoy this as much, you need to analyze and assess, because a lot of people will say like just trust the process, like, but then you end up being miserable for fucking years and you're like,
but that's just such poor advice or something that's in their own head, where you go, like I said, look, listening to your own head. If there's something that's itching away there that goes, do you know what, I want to just go and give that a go for it. There's also that kind of thing behind, like, grow up and all. Like, see, as you get older and you maybe get in relationships or you meet families, you get a job, you've got commitments to your work.
Yeah.
You have to develop. And I think that's a huge thing for, you've done well again, is that knowing that you've got to go through all these things. And in my opinion, I won't say it's easy to be a bodybuilder. It's easy to be a bodybuilder when you're living in the house at 18, 19, 20 years old.
So I was just going to say,
But it also, can you bodybuild when you've got your bills to pay and you've got kids to...
you've got a family to look after, you've got all these responsibilities.
And naturally, I clap so much more for the people, because you're not just... You're doing so much. And that's where I think pressure comes into it.
Yeah, I think people feel like they still need to hold themselves to the exact same standard that they did when they had fuck all on during the day. And they slept for 10 hours perfectly and they wake up and they've got nothing to do apart from play Fortnite, eat their pre-workout meal and go to the gym and come back, eat the post-workout meal, boom, that's your day done. Like, when there is a lot more there, and it's tough in that sense because it does make you uncomfortable. Like, I feel like I have been forced to kind of deal with that a lot. Like, obviously, again, I'm not saying that online coaching is like a super, super difficult life and that I've got it bad with this and that, but when I was 18, like, I'd get ramped up to say like 30, 40 clients really quickly, and it kind of forced me to mature in that sense. Yeah, it was like, right, you actually need to deal with your shit here, otherwise you're just going to crumble. But again, that was a hard process. Like, there was a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of times where I did question it and this and that. But it's a case of kind of trying to take a step back, see where you're at, see where your priorities lie. It's trying to balance the plates. You're never going to be the perfect boyfriend, the perfect son, the perfect coach, the perfect bodybuilder. You need to make little adjustments in that sense. Like, you can't just say, right, boom, I'm doing this, and that, and then something comes up and you're like, oh, what do I do now? Like, you need to be able to be, I think, being adjustable.
I'm training chest today. I'm not picking the veins up. You know what I mean? Don't care if you're not
my
well.
baby's being born today. Who cares, man? Like, but I think not being stubborn in that sense. I think Noah's a good example as well, because he travelled out to Japan last year, I think around September time, and he'd been like, I'm going to go live in Japan, I'm not coming back, and this and that. And it's like, he had this all built up in his mind, got there, after about a month or two, it kind of wore off a little bit, and he was like, do I really enjoy it here? Just like, he loves the place in general and the culture and everything, but the time zones were completely different. He never really spoke to us because of that. Doesn't know anyone out there. Like, there was no one to really connect with. Just, you know, again, coaching all day, not really speaking to anyone else outside of his laptop. He was like, I'm not really enjoying this. But he'd said, like, right, I'm going to do it. So he was like, am I being like a shit house if I come back? Or am I being too stubborn if I stay?
But he did
and
it.
He came back. So
I'm saying he done it, he moved. How many young
exactly
things you got that whole, again, the itch.
Yeah.
There's Noah, for example, like, so much respect, because you're going, you went and done the thing. If you work out within that a year, a month, a day, that it's not for you, then follow it.
Done it. Yeah, you'd rather kind of not live with the regret of never actually trying it or doing it as well. I think that's a big
Am I right in saying he speaks fluent Japanese? Well, I hope he would if he spent 2 months there.
It's wild, to be fair. Like, completely self-taught, complete different alphabet and everything. It generally boggles my mind.
That is absolutely insane.
Because you look at the letters and stuff, and I'm like, how do you even like take that apart and figure out what that's saying and this and that? So yeah, he taught himself that over the space of like 3-4 years. I think it's when he was in his bodybuilding prep, like, he needed something to distract himself from his hunger. Just studied Japanese for like 3 hours a day. That's fair enough, mate. Fair dues. Keep the cravings away. But yeah, like, that's the thing.
That's mental, isn't it, man?
I might do that next prep. Come back and do a full like German episode the next time or something.
People smack their head off the wall. He's learning the Japanese alphabet.
If I don't know the English one, mate, that's absolutely insane, mate. Honestly, that's bonkers, man. Yeah. I think, especially a language like that, like, I guess any language has got to be hard to learn, but
Spanish is like our letters just in different orders, whereas that's like is completely different. Like even with the way you need to speak and like different pitches and different tones mean different things. And
I would be so cooked, man. I'd be fucked.
Yeah, but again, he's obviously put all that effort in. He put out on social media that like, right, dream life, living in Japan. I'm doing everything I set out to do, but wasn't happy.
Yep.
And he was like, right, am I going to just sit and stay unhappy and just do this just because I said I'm going to do it? Or am I going to be realistic with myself, come back, see my mates again, be around my family, his wee dogs, his wee cats, like this and that. Like he missed it, so he came back.
That's
and
class.
I think it's the same thing with like bodybuilders who are like, right, I'm going to fucking do everything, this and that. And they never come out of it, even if they aren't happy about it. Again, that doesn't mean that you just sack it off entirely. Like Noah's still going to go back to Japan. He's still going to be here and there. Like doesn't mean you need to do one or the other. Like I feel like a lot of people have got that all or nothing mindset, whereas you can definitely just play with things a little bit and figure out what you do enjoy, what you can pull back on, what you can push on. And it's different periods as well. Some periods in your life you're going to enjoy a certain thing, you're going to enjoy that thing. Then you might get the itch back for that thing. It doesn't mean that you can't go back to it, you know. So I think Noah's a really good example of the kind of not being too stubborn in that sense.
That probably leads us on to something that's very common in bodybuilding, is just mental health and your relationship with yourself. Something we talk about a lot in this podcast. You're obviously somebody that works with a lot of guys. I'm the same. And you see struggles. Yeah. And in so many ways we're not qualified to deal with. Sometimes just putting an arm around somebody can be really good.
Helps a lot. Yeah.
How much, firstly, what do you think on, will training fix a lot of issues? And what's your experience, anything that you've maybe thought when you've been down or a wee bit kind of under the wear, is anything that you do to help yourself?
Yeah, so training side of things, I think definitely helps, but it's not the fix. Like it's not, you can't rely on it to be everything.
Yeah.
Because if you do, like again, there's going to be like a weird relationship with your training, and it might mess you up in that sense. If all you've got to look forward to is your training, then there is an issue.
Aye. Like
although again, it's brilliant. Like I look forward to my training, this and that. If it's the only thing in the whole day that you're looking forward to, there is an issue there that you need to realistically kind of have a look at and assess what you're going to do. But I think it can be, again, a massive, massive help. Like, even with myself, if I'm, you know, in a little bit of a rut and I feel a little bit unproductive, get to the gym, fucking smash a session, come back and I'm, like, buzzing with that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in a rut and if you don't feel good about yourself and you're like, right, I'm going to miss the gym today, you go to bed that night and you're like, why have I not went to the gym today?
You never regret it.
Exactly. I think I also heard you say that, like, you'll never regret, like, just going in for a session.
I don't pin my whole mental health on the gym. I do feel like turning around and facing things head on is the only way for young guys. But I do think, like, I'm big on don't make a decision without having a session, having a good sleep, with a clear head. These things all help. But I think we do see that kind of pinning your, and it might be like back to like your identity, your everything else on, even your mind, full mind on the gym.
Yeah.
And it's something I think we've dealt with a lot with you at the start. We found this flow of you enjoying the gym, you got that buzz, but there was also, I say my biggest transformation with you is your character and how you were always, a good guy, but just how you started portraying that, how you started coming alive with it. And I think if we just pinned ourselves onto, no, I'm getting Tommy down to 14 stone or whatever it may be, and I destroyed you mentally, I'd have felt like I'd have lost. Well, I could have showed the picture, I could have been, but
so hard to portray that though on social media, isn't it? Like, it's really hard to put it into words, like, about the kind of psychological and the mental side of things, because people only fucking care about the physical side of things.
That is true, mate. That is
only what people want to see. Whereas if you were to put a post up saying about all this stuff, you'd be like, I don't care. Like, they need that eye candy or something to see there. I think that's really hard to show, because I want to be able to tell people that like, if you commit yourself to, like, I think bodybuilding's been massive for me in that sense, where it has taken me from a daft little kid who's got no work ethic, just sits and plays his Xbox all day, does nothing, scrawny, not happy with himself, to be in the position where I am just now and again. I'm not saying that it's perfect, not at all, not in the slightest, but to have like a car that I'd never dreamed of having, to having a physique that I'd never, thought I'd ever be able to get, like, it's literally just, again, hard work. And if you can teach yourself to do that, like, it does make a big difference. But again, you can also overdo that in that sense, and then that's when your mental health starts to go back down again. So it's, again, trying to be aware of that, and it's a really difficult thing. And again, I still struggle with it, and I'm sure you two still struggle with it as well. Like, gets to a point where you maybe took on a few more clients, or like you've got another responsibility that's came up, and you don't know, like, oh shit, like things are really stressing me out. I'm feeling really, really pressurized here. A lot of anxiety, and again, I still struggle with that a lot, and it's something that I've struggled with a lot in the past. But I think having the gym there to be able to outlet some emotions is cool. But if you're going into every session just to outlet emotions as well, you have that negative connotation with training too. So it's trying to separate yourself from that, go and enjoy your training, but as you say, kind of facing the issues head on a little bit to actually analyse.
Like you've done as well, there's so many other things you can draw. I say as well, sometimes I'll do a Spanish lesson, or I took, what do you call it, salsa lessons and all that as well.
You saying that. Okay.
Mate, sometimes I'd leave those classes and I'd have the same buzz as if I've just done 400 reps on my biceps. That same buzz, but it's not I started doing all the things. One, it was more, that was the thing inside me. I always wanted to do them. I felt let down on myself that I didn't listen enough at school. I went up with a language. I felt let down when I went abroad and I couldn't articulate with other people.
Yeah.
And the dancing thing, God knows where that came from. But it was more, if I didn't go and do that, it would have pissed me off.
Yeah.
Just all through my life. So see, now that I do them, I get that same buzz. Whereas if I didn't go and commit myself to get my body the way I would feel happy, and I'm happy in it now, I'd be kicking myself. So
it teaches you like that kind of commitment to something, or like when you say you're going to do something, fucking do it.
Aye.
I think that is one of the worst things about like our society, and especially my generation. People put out there on social media that they're going to do something, or they start telling people that they're going to do something, never follow through with it.
Yep.
Or even if they don't tell anyone, if you say to yourself that you're going to do something, do it. Like,
I've learned so much of that for you. Like, I think, I don't know if it was literally the last pod or no, or I can't remember, maybe a few back, but we spoke about exactly this, where it's like, mate, I used to overcompensate so bad, mate. Like, I'm going to fucking train the day, X, Y, and Z, walk dogs, but just a billion things, mate, and literally train, be so overwhelmed. And fucking lie in my bed and do hee-haw, mate. Like, do you know what I mean?
Scroll
and that's
on your phone because you're like, I can't think about everything else that I've got to do.
That is literally it, mate.
I'm just going to go through the comfort of scrolling my phone.
I think a lot of, I've maybe done it myself sometimes, where it's easy to make a list of things that don't mean as much, rather than going to the top of the list and going, that would make me a better person.
You put off the stuff that you put off, like the harder stuff. But there's a quote, I'm going to butcher it, but like, the progress that you're looking for lies in the stuff that you're not doing, or that you're putting off doing. It's like you need to, you're always going to procrastinate the stuff that actually is important, or like the hardest task, or the one that's going to take the longest time. So you come up with these little tasks to make yourself feel a little bit productive.
Because you know that it's not glamorous. You know that whether it is working to the amount of clients you've got, learning language, getting in shape, you know it's not going to take 2 weeks, and that's not cool. And I think, again, you spoke about that last time, just how quick everything comes nowadays.
Yep.
It's like, we can't just get things. It has to be an element of
work that goes behind it.
Do it for a decade. And that's not cool to tell people. But in a decade's time, you'll look back and go, fuck me, look how much my life has changed. Even a year.
Definitely.
I'm a big on that. If you can just commit to something for a year, get this guy here.
Compound interest as well. The more that you do it, the more you're going to get back from it and stuff too. But I think, again, like just from like phones, social media, like especially again my generation, especially with lockdown as well. Cooks your brain, doesn't it? Like literally just sat scrolling on TikTok all day. Like if I've not got something that I've got to do like instantly, the first thing that my brain's thinking of, pick up my phone and scroll on something. Like it's just the automatic kind of response, and I feel like that's very common for my generation. I don't know if you get like a screen limiter app. I
do in the mornings.
Yeah, I've got one as well, and I find it really, really productive. I've got one that doesn't allow me to go on TikTok or Instagram from like 5:30 when I wake up to 12, because that's when I'm going to do like my check-ins. Then when I'm at the gym, also like pretty much from 5 till 12 or 5:30 till 12, can't go on the social media apps, only if it's like a little break for 2 minutes to repost something, like if I need to pop a post up on the Natural Physique coaching page. And then also 12:30 to 4, there's the training one, so can't go on it there. And then, you know, like 9:30 PM, can't go anything there, so I don't get into bed and just mindlessly scroll. Because it's the easiest thing to do. Like, again, I don't know, have you read Atomic Habits? I assume you've probably read. Very good book. But pretty much talking about like the habits that are actually productive for you are the ones that feel like a chore, like during that time. The ones that are shit for you are the ones that feel great and easy at the time, but don't pay off in the long run. The ones that are feeling like a little bit more of a chore in the time and it's more difficult to do, those are the ones that are going to pay off down the line.
Yep.
And people kind of put off doing those ones consistently. And then again, the easy one, pick up my phone and start scrolling.
Yep.
Like it's difficult, isn't it?
I had this struggle with steps, mate. I think I've heard you say this before too. That's when I first started training. That was I would say what my biggest like downfall was just being like, ugh, lying in bed, 6:30, I've trained, like I've ate my food, I'm clapping myself in the like.
I thought it was checking in, was it not? Was there something else?
I don't know what you're talking about. But I used to be like, nah, I can't be bothered. I don't need, I'll do them tomorrow or whatever it may be, mate, and just delay. But see, when I eventually kind of found my flow, mate, and started doing them, it was crazy the difference, mate, that it made to my head, to my body, the amount of weight I was losing, like everything, mate. It was just so amplified, but it was something that honestly, mate, I could not be fucked less doing so many times.
Again, it's the progress that you're looking for lies in the stuff that you're continuously putting off.
Aye.
Definitely.
So it's one of them, man. Like, and I feel like when you tell people that, you used to obviously know better than me, but like even if I've just been giving my pals advice or whatever it may be about like training or whatever, man, you're talking about steps, they'll just be like, aye, cool, but what about chest? Like, what about that? Blah, blah, blah. I think that's just a stereotype.
That's the thing that you need to struggle with. Like,
Yeah.
I always look at we all brush our teeth every night.
No.
So we should.
I don't, man. I never brush my teeth.
No. So, but again, that's an ingrained habit that you've had since you were a child. I mean, so it was installed in you. The same way you kind of, and not be naive that it's going to take time. You need to install habits in you. So like, hitting 10,000 steps shouldn't really be a problem for us now.
It becomes like a kind of second nature type of thing. Like when you get into the rhythm of it.
But you water that down and you go, right, well, I'm not doing this. Or even business wise, if you've got 5 clients, look after them. Don't look at Josh and go, you've got X amount. And it's just definitely getting that flow of consistency around anything that you're doing.
That's the thing though, like, again, people don't want to hear it. This is the thing, like, people want to know what's the best hack to do this, to get this amount of clients, or to, lose as much weight as you've lost. But it's hard for them to accept when you say, it took me a long time. And even yourself, like, when you were wanting to lose weight, like, if someone had told you, you're going to need to do like 10,000 steps consistently every day, like, it's not going to come to you quickly, like, these are the things that you need to do. You need to start doing the habits that you don't want to do, the stuff that's really tedious. Like, oh, for fuck's sake.
100%, mate.
Like, even, like, literally think back to when you started with Tony. Like, if someone were to tell you all that stuff, you'd just be like, oh,
it'd be so overwhelming.
It's difficult for people to accept that, but then you look at yourself now. Like, imagine telling you back then that you'd be sat on a podcast, technically giving advice to people as to how to actually improve their life, physical, mental, like doing a podcast about the gym. Like, it does pay off over time.
It's that journey thing. It's been nearly 2 years of work to put him here, that he actually can sit here. If I just landed him here sitting with you and I, you'd feel that imposter.
Oh, mate, I wouldn't fit in the seat, mate. Oh, shit, man. Somebody put a road sausage on.
If we just gave you the body and said, right, talk. You wouldn't have the experience to obviously to speak, but everything you've learned and the mistakes you've made along the way, that's what's allowing you to sit here and feel like you can give knowledge, and you can, like, this is why you have done so well, because like I said,
you've done it all. You've put the work in, you've put the effort in, but people again just think, oh, that's too much effort.
Thanks, boys.
That's something I want to talk about, something that really does my tits in, is morning routines. Like, they kill me, because like, I'm not how much I think, like, have your rise and shine, of course, and get a good sleep. You know as well, especially when you're busy, like, see if you go on Instagram, you just see this, like, Instagram fueled, like, driven shit of my morning looks like this.
Wash my face nice and sexy in the morning, and you're like, get out of the shower, the towel on.
You got out your bed to set that tripod up, and then you jump back in bed for the video. You're somebody that can't be trusted. And it's sad because people look at that and go, they've got it all worked out. And I'm like, I'm quite big on, see, in the morning, I'm looking for, let's use the word aggression, but I'm looking for a wee bit of oomph in the morning. Like, whether that's, and I've seen people that, I always think of that, like, my mum, for example, or anyone I admire, like, you get 5 kids and got them to school in time, never once probably late.
Get up and crack on.
Fuck all to do with your meditating in the morning, pal. Like, I'm sure she
Ground
meditates.
yourself. You
know what I
need
mean?
to get out there and meditate, ground yourself.
You're huge in walking in the morning, aren't you? I
do
always
like
see
a wee
that.
walk in the morning,
Aye, man.
We've got our things that keep us in check, but there's not this perfect way for anything. But ultimately, you can have the best morning routine in the world, but see if you're not active after it, you're not productive, you're not going to get anywhere.
You need to find that kind of like flow as well, I think. Like, because especially for me, like I'll work, first thing in the morning usually. I'll go, I will get up and I'll literally just launch myself out of bed, brush my teeth, get my supplements ready. To be fair, I do have a wee journal. It's called like the 6-minute journal. So you just put in,
I've seen this.
and that's more so for just like reminding myself that I'm actually doing decent and that I'm doing these things. Or if I'm not doing something, reminding myself, fucking get your finger out your arse, Josh, and start doing it. Because that says like, what's 3 things that you're grateful for? Because again, if I wake up and I've got loads of work, I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm happy where I am or this and that. It's just like bang, 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 work. Gets in there, I'm like, fucking hell, I'm knackered. Go to bed, rinse and repeat, same thing. A month passes by and I'm like, I've just not been present here in the slightest. So having that wee journal, like 3 things that you're grateful for, like a lot of the time it will literally just be like having a good bunch of check-ins ahead of me, like having a lot of clients that I get on really well with and I'm blessed to have this job. One of them sometimes will just be waking up. Like, I'm grateful just to simply be here. Like, people forget that, and a lot of people that might be kind of down in the dumps as well, I think this helps a lot because it allows you to focus on the positives and not the negatives, because your brain's going to instantly want to go to the negatives, like just to, oh, what have I got? Oh, I've got this on today, or like this is happening, or I've got these issues, and it's all you think about and it's all you play, like your mind plays on. But having that wee journal, I think, again, it says it's supposed to be 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes at night. Actually, what's the 3 things that you're grateful for in the morning? What are you going to do today to make sure that you have a good day? So I'm going to write out what I've got going on. I'm going to write out when I'm doing it. What I'm going to do to make sure that I'm productive, to make sure that I'm happy with what I've done. And then some like positive affirmation. Then in the evening, it says like, what's your good deeds for today? Like, what have you done that's good for someone else? To make sure you're consistently doing that, because again, you feel good for doing stuff like that. Ask you, what could you improve on for the next day? And then 3 things that you enjoyed during that day. So I think kind of focusing on those positives as well definitely is a big part of it too. But again, that doesn't mean that I wake up and spend an hour meditating and grounding myself and this and that. Like, I do get up, I fill that in, then I crack on for there. I think one thing, because again, myself listened to this a few years ago, if this was me watching it, I would wake up in the morning, my alarm goes off, I click the turn off button, I keep my phone in my hand, roll over to the other side and scroll on it for like half an hour. Your day's fucked.
Yeah. Like,
you're going to be so unproductive that day. If you're doing that consistently, because you wake up and you're pure like discombobulated, like, what do I need to do? Like, I'm not in a routine. I know you're saying like there's no perfect routine for everyone. But the one thing is, get out of your fucking bed.
Don't
allow
negative things in.
Don't throw yourself, don't allow yourself just to kind of sit there and think about, oh, what have I got on today? Like, I need to do this, I need to do that. Literally turn around and literally throw your fucking legs right out of the bed. If you don't do that, you're going to have a difficult time during the day, I think. It was a big thing for myself. I used to struggle with that a lot, definitely.
So leading on to that, Josh, obviously we spoke about everything for your side and how you coach, but we want to speak about that, what's happening in the fitness industry. Don't know if you see it as well, that this kind of like
definitely
how things are kind of just take a wee turn, where I can have view it in 2 ways. When you get into this job, you're either aiming to be an educator or you end up being an entertainer.
Influencer,
entertainer.
That gets thrown about a lot, an influencer. Like a gym influencer.
Influence fucking shit.
When you're not actually doing any of it.
And again, it's no glamorous, because you can't. There will be some people. You sometimes put up things and people, they don't seem interested.
Again, it's just because of like other ones are a bit more flashy, or do
Sex
this ab
sells.
workout to get these fucking abs. I'm never going to post anything like that because it's not how it works.
Yep.
But nobody wants to again hear that it's just going to take a little bit of time to do it and this and that. Like, I think it rewards it as well. Sorry, the algorithm, because people are a little bit more interested in it.
Yep.
And it's kind of creating that, like, people just start putting like pure outrageous stuff at the start of their reels and shit like that, like, do this or do that, or don't ever do this exercise if you want to do this. There's that wee guy for Pure Gym, you've probably seen the videos that he puts up. What a guy. He's like, if you want a big back, stop doing barbell rows, take it from me, someone with a good back. And you're like, mate, you look like you've never trained in your life. So yeah, it's interesting in it. But sorry, go on, you can continue about what you were going to say about it.
But He is good, him, isn't he? Have you seen him?
Mate, it's brilliant.
He's got it on lock.
He's
He
getting
knows what
some
he's
of
doing.
that attraction as well.
Yeah.
I know, he's
Aye.
loving it, mate. Do you know, see all his comments, he only gets like maybe, he only gets like 60 likes in a post, mate, but there's like
200 comments.
Do you think he's just that smart? He's saying, I'm just going to take the piss
Go
out of all
to
these
me.
guys that have been training for 10, 15 years.
Just have your kick out of it.
He's all looking at that big, massive bodybuilder.
the first few, he put a few big names out today. I was looking at the comments, and I think it is the back one, but there's a shoulder one too, and he's like, ditch dumbbell lateral raises. He's like, if you want big cap delts like me, man, he's like that, mate, nearly piercing his head, man, with his fingers. Oh, shit, man. That's funny. It's funny.
Guy.
But it's, I mean, I ended up commenting Brett Contreras' post the other day, and he was saying how it's not fair that what mate are doing, and they're pushing this narrative of kind of that whole sex sells.
Yeah.
But also you've got one, I personally would not, you've got a duty of care as a coach to not willingly know that this is shit and still do it. But there's also that fact where people like seeing this stuff for those reasons, because it covers up the, oh my God, I need to do this for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's the quick fix, get a six-pack before you go to Ibiza for 6 weeks, and then you're left underwhelmed. Probably work in a worse relationship with yourself, because you go,
Crash dieted as
I was
well,
promised a lie.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll probably listen to the next lie, because I don't want to listen to the fucking truth, and that is, I need to work.
Yeah, it sells well. Like, there's loads of pure, really successful coaches that are making hundreds of money after like 8-12 week IB for shreds, and the cookie cutter plan to him, cookie cutter plan to him.
Yeah.
Please get the same program as him. Coincidence.
No.
It's like they give the same stuff to everyone. Like, slam somebody whether they're eating 3,000 calories currently or 1,500. They put them on 1,500 calories. Again, it's going to mess up your physical health, your mental health, psychological, everything. Really bad relationship with food. But they make more money from it, so who cares?
No.
So it's like, all right, I'm just in this for the money. Like, I think that's a big thing, and I always say that to people, because a lot of my clients will want to become coaches. They're like, oh, I'd love to do it, I'd love to do this and that. I'm like, are you in it for the right reason?
Yeah.
Is it, I think, is easy Wi-Fi money, because a lot of people get that intention, and it's the same as, like crypto trading, like, oh, I can just do that, and after a month I'm going to be fucking rich. Like, you need to learn how to actually read the graphs, the whatever it may be. I've got no clue about it all, but like, same with everything. You actually need to put time and effort into stuff. People are definitely afraid of that, but there is a lot of coaches out there that do just kind of cut corners quite a lot just to simply make more money.
And again, I think there is a big aspect of it. I believe that, like, selling your soul to the devil, like, come back and bites you. And it's this whole, like, if I portray that everything's perfect and there's a quick fix behind it, at some point soon, something's going to come and bite me in the arse. But I think a lot of people also kind of scratch their head, like, oh, how did I end up here? Well, because you've fucking lied your way to the top in some cases, or you've just portrayed that everything's all right. And like everything we spoke about today, sometimes it's actually all right for things not to be okay. Like, it's human.
Yeah.
Whether that's your relationship with yourself, your training. And there's this whole list where you go on Instagram and you're almost applauded by strangers, funny enough, for doing things perfect. And then they think it's the truth because they're looking at it through their phone, and they go, oh, that's how far away I am. Like, and they've got it all worked out. I'm going to invest in that.
Posting their highlights, and it makes it look as if everyone's life is perfect.
100%. But if you get that with fashion influencers, or you get that with fitness models, or it's important, I think, especially what you're doing as a young guy, where it probably is a wee bit worse. Whereas I think how much I still have seen some good people at my age totally fuck their heads up with too much investment into the wrong things.
Yeah.
It's a wee bit tougher at your age because you have grown up where it's always been a thing. Social media has just been about. So it's actually nice for you to know, do you know, I'm going to build something long term. I want to work with certain people. Tommy as well.
Honest work in it, like, it does pay off. Again, if you do try and cut those corners, or you're searching for something, that instant gratification that usually is going to, as you say, bite you in the arse a little bit, because nothing should come easily.
I watch some people and I'm like, Wednesday night they're posting photos like out on a Saturday, and I just see that as a big red flag. I'm like, you're sitting in your house, you're insecure, you're feeling shit about yourself. What's your first thing that you're going to do? And what I'll do, I'll post something on Instagram that'll spark the fire again. And it's just like, I think it like a bit like a battery. Something's draining in you. You're no willing to deal with the root cause.
Yeah.
Oh, what can I do? If I put that up, I'll get that sort of attention. I'll do this, I'll do that. I'll say something controversial. I'll do something controversial.
Get a little bit of a kick out of something.
There is, and there's a toxic mentality to it as well. But it's good that you're all keeping some sort of integrity and the coaching and still sticking to your ways. Because like I said earlier, I believe firmly I could have went down that route. And it's not been glamorous doing it the way I've done it, of just hard work.
Just get the biceps out constantly.
There we go, just walk about, vest on. I think I'd do that
your
anyway.
salsa dancing with the tap off. Record it, wee bit of oil on there.
Cover the oil.
Don't
give me ideas.
Come to a salsa class with me, a couple thousand likes.
But again, it's that whole, deep down what's wrong with me if you sell yourself to the devil in their cases, but I stopped taking people like that seriously. And I mostly that nothing maybe, but it takes a lot for me to look at a younger guy and go, do you know what? You've got your fucking shit together, because you don't, and it's fine for you not to be.
Yeah.
But you guys do. And that's because you particular, you've done everything that young guys or even older guys don't work out to maybe their late 20s.
Things head on, literally, just as you were saying. Like, the more that you put something off, like, the longer that's going to take, the worse you're going to feel, the more that it builds up. It gets to a point where you're just like, fucking hell, what do I do? You feel so overwhelmed in this and that. But really trying to analyse things and just be like, what can I do here? You know, and realistically coming to that truth, and it is a hard truth of just that honest hard work pays off.
Yep.
And it's difficult, and especially for young people. Again, like if you were to tell this stuff to me when I was younger, would have got overwhelmed and would be like, no, I can't do that, no chance. Like, I'm going to need to put all that effort in to get to where I am. Can't be fucked with that. But like, you kind of, if you can expose yourself to it more over time, it definitely works. That doesn't mean, like just absolutely bombard yourself, as you were saying, like, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to do that today, I'm going to do this today. Like, it gets to the point, if you are doing too much, you can overwhelm yourself. But taking small steps of that and just slowly doing more and more and more, before you know it, you're in this position, you're recording a podcast, helping people, you've lost, how much weight have you lost?
We're edging on, we're coming on to fucking 10. 10.
Wild.
We're coming on to that now because, I think that one of the first big goals was to get to 100 kilo, and I'm like 101.4 mile or something. I go to Amsterdam.
It's going to drag you down the sauna. Sitting there talking back.
But aye, that's, do you know, funny enough that you mentioned the sauna, mate. I remember having a conversation in my pal's house. I was at one of the Celtic and Rangers games, mate, and we were on his bit, blah, 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 and I'd been training with you like a couple of months, and one of the boys came in, one of my pals, that no harm to him at all, but like, I remember he was trying to give me advice on how to lose weight faster, no to any badness, like, just, he was saying, like, you should be doing more cardio, like, just pure, like, stereotypical bro
Generic,
stuff, like, drop the weight, do more reps, do more cardio, do so on and
Get
so
this bin bag on and go out run.
you mate, like, blah, 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 and like, it wouldn't have landed with me then, but it does now. The whole process of things being slow and actually appreciating it more. Whereas I think if things moved that fast, mate, I would have just boom, 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 all the way back to where I began, mate. And it wouldn't have been like, no, because I'm no strong-minded enough to do it or any of that kind of shit. I wouldn't have enjoyed it.
It's and building up the passion for it as well. If you get handed it so easily, you wouldn't really care about it.
Aye. That's
Same
like
with everything, your business, your training, your anything. Yep. You enjoy it more when you've put more work into it as well.
That's one of the biggest thing probably the biggest thing for me, mate, when it comes to training is enjoyment. And that's like, obviously I started kind of dabbling in coaching too, and that's something that I would want to push majorly. It's like, I just want people to have fun, mate. I just want people to get out of what I got out of it, because I never thought that I could have got this out of something else other than smoking a doobie in my bedroom, other than sitting playing the PlayStation. Like,
life.
I didn't know that euphoria existed in a gym, mate. Do you know what I mean?
You don't realise it until you get there. And I think the only way to actually do that is take action.
That is, bro. That is.
That's what I say to people a lot. There's a quote that I quite like. Is procrastination is a disease, action is the cure.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it comes down to doing that stuff that you maybe aren't really setting out to do all the time. Even like perfectionism is a disease, action is the cure. Like if you're always searching for perfect, you need to wait till the perfect time. Or I need to wait until this all lines up. I need to have the perfect plan. If I'm doing one more set than I should, it's not worth doing it. Like, needing to know exactly, and you're messaging people like, mate, is this too much volume? Is this this and that? Like, just fucking start doing it.
Aye, mate.
Like, it makes a world of a difference. Like, that's the things that's going to take you further. But yeah, sorry, I feel like I'm yapping about that.
Nah, if people don't listen to
stuff.
guys like you and Tony saying that, then like there's nobody for them
You
to point
can't
to and
help
listen
people.
to, mate.
Like some people, know that some people are just uncoachable. You tell them to do something, and you say like, mate, just trust to do this.
Uncoachable at that time. I don't think. I know we use the term uncoachable, and at that point they are. But it's really important to, in my opinion, go and find why you, in that case, are uncoachable. Because everybody can be. Yeah. They just might need something. They might need kicked in the right direction. I think there's also, I say kicked in the right direction.
Volley them.
There's also you're very capable at teaching somebody a lot. There is some lessons that can't be learned.
Yeah.
And the right people do come in. I'm a big believer in God. I believe in everything's kind of connected. The right people come into your life when you need them. And that allows you to grow as well. Yeah. If I met Tommy 5 years ago, we wouldn't be sitting here.
No, not a chance.
And there's that whole...
That's a good point.
If Tommy didn't go through those lessons that he had to learn himself, he knew back then that this is wrong what he's doing deep down. Yeah. But sometimes you need to kind of get to maybe 25 stone in his case. You need to hit rock bottom and then you need to go, do you know what? I'm going to go and give Josh a message again. Yeah. Because I did let him down and I'm going to prove I let myself down and I'm going to go back to him. Yeah. So people, sometimes they need to get past these points that, like we spoke about, you turn around and face it yourself, and a coach might not help you with that, but they can then
they can't teach you. You need to kind of just experience it. Yeah, definitely.
But
Maturity as well, isn't it? Like
it's huge. That's
when
so
I started
important.
with Finn, I was still a bit of shit as well. Like it wasn't really entirely consistent with everything I'd done, making shitty excuses for things. But at that time, I was like, yeah, I want to improve this. So whatever he says, I'm going to fucking do it. Like, whether I want to do it, whether I don't want to do it, whether I'm taking offence to it. Like, sometimes you say, like, it would pull me up on something, I'd be like, I'm raging at that. Like, he's trying to tell me to do something when I'm doing this right now. Yep. But it's just someone that's actually got a good objective opinion on it, that's not got an emotional bias. And if I'm kind of getting offended by something, it usually means that it's hitting home a little bit more. And it is something that actually needs to change. I've been, again, putting it off. And if, like, you feel maybe attacked by something, or, like, if he says something you feel like he's trying to, like, go for you, realistically, you should be like, right, it's just because I'm actually doing that wrong and I'm not actually addressing it myself.
Well, I find that is, if in your case you've got a good coach behind you, you're a good coach yourself. Okay. If somebody's got a love for you or a respect for you, I'm a believer in it. You are where you are and you're good for it, but you can be so much better.
Definitely.
And that is, if you're a young guy, you'll look back in maybe 5 years' time and go, there's something up if you're not better. See, if you can't sit here in 5 years' time with a vast amount of more experience, then you'll probably feel a bit hard done by. Yeah. That comes from somebody telling you these things that maybe been there, and then that action process of going, do you know what, I'm not going to piss about for the next 4 months, and you've obviously proven how good you are at just turning around and facing it. Okay. That if you don't do it, ultimately it doesn't go away, and you are very much aware of, right, it's been brought to light here, what am I going to do? Yeah. Like, you can sulk about it.
You don't want to look back the year later and think I've done absolute sod all. Like, I've just done the same stuff, I've been in the same rut. Aye. I'm sure, like, yous have both been there as well, and, like, with myself, it's just, like, you look back and you're like, I've realistically not experienced what I wanted to experience, not further ahead. The only thing to do is to take action to change that. 100%. I'm so big on it.
I can relate to that, mate. Yeah. I can. Mate, I feel like this is completely off topic, but it's just, like, the whole being stuck and that kind of...
Spinning your wheels.
Mate, I went to Ibiza for 7 hours. As in, flew there, jumped in the pool with my phone in my pocket, with my full trackie on, got out the pool, went up the stair, found out that it was going to be hard to get a bit of weed, freaked out, booked a flight home, went and got a tattoo, drank a Venom, and fucked off to the airport and came home, mate. Because I just thought, I'm not going to be able to get a bit of weed here.
That's
mate,
fucking mental.
There's taffies in Ibiza that you can smoke bud in. But I was just that panicked and that, like, what the fuck, man? But stuck in this fucking... So instead, I ended up fucking my bedroom, man. Mate,
that's
right.
What? Yeah. See, when you think back to that now, what do you think caused that?
Fear, definitely, mate. Because I was overweight. I was so aware, mate, of my weed addiction before it started. I was so aware of how bad it was, but I literally just watched it snowball so far out of control, mate. Like, and I was...
I think it makes it harder when you're aware of it.
Aye.
Because a lot of people are just like oblivious to it and like they crack on. But see, when you're aware of it, it eats away at you as well. Like even again, like I've still got bad habits.
Yeah.
Again, none of us are perfect, but you're aware of them, so it bothers you so much more. You're like, I want to improve it, but it's maybe not improving because I get this and that and this and that. And I'm sure like when you were smoking all the time and you couldn't get out of it, you're like, I'm trying to fucking stop this when it's not working. Is there ever actually like a light at the end of this tunnel?
That's what it's like, mate. And you said it earlier on, and I kind of went to say something on it. See, just blaming something else. Oh, so much, mate. I blamed something else for literally years.
Yeah.
Like I say this to like my mum or my girlfriend or blah blah blah, and like I feel like I've lost years.
See that as if it's the same person.
Nah, but it's just they're the two I tell everything to. But I would say, I just don't. I make it like my past is like you would think I went to rehab, mate, for fucking being on the needle, mate. You would think it was really that bad, but see the way that I view things now compared to then, mate. Oh, it fucking makes my stomach turn. Like I just feel like I lost out on so much time. Yeah, there's so much time ahead. Like hopefully, like I get that, and I'm mad appreciative for my life now as it is, mate. But like being stuck in that cycle and knowing now that it was mate, it was so simple. This was the answer to smoking weed. Stop. Just stop smoking it, mate. And that's what I done. I just woke up one day and it was like, fuck this, man. I'm never smoking this again. Never smoked it again. Yeah. Obviously, that's extreme, but that's what it had to be. The same way where training also had to be extreme. I had to be 25 stone. Boxers didn't fit me. Struggling to put my laces on to make the change, mate. Hopefully that isn't a recurring theme in my life. I'm trying to make sure it's no when it gets to a point of extreme where I'm like, I need to change. But for some people, it does get to that point. Like, for some people, it is that hard. And I guess that's where you as coaches are so quoted on what you're good at doing, mate, because, like Taylor said, I couldn't have got half as far if it was just anybody else, mate. I don't think I would have, even though I'd changed a bit, I don't think I would have gave them the same respect as I gave you, because I just didn't want to let you down. Like, that was a big part of my weight loss was...
You need to have that kind of... You need to look up to your coach and put them on a pedestal. Say if your coach is your best mate, like I know obviously you get on really well and you spend a lot of time together, like I'm sure you still look up to Tony and what he's achieved and everything in general, obviously like competing, but your life experience, everything that you've done, like you need to still look up to your coach. I still look up to Finn, like that he's done way more stuff than me from like a business standpoint. He knows a lot more than me from just life in general, knows a lot more than me, can give me a lot of good advice. Like you need to have, like especially when you start up with a coach, like you need to have that, like, right, I'm going to put everything in here to really impress them. If you don't have that, there's something wrong there. And that's why you need to set the standard as a coach and not post daft shit content on Instagram and this and that. Like,
people are so aware of how you act as well, whether they say it or not. And that's something that I probably just made my kind of character just in and out of the gym and my job is, who do you want to be? The person that allows people to feel good when you leave them, or you want to feel good when you leave them? I think that was important for me, not to become the person that just, he's so interested. I just find myself so interested in this and that. Yeah. But see, when you leave the building or whatever it may be, somebody says to you, he made me feel good about myself over the course of time. And I think that's what coaching should be, because you are working with people that, let's believe, look, you were in that position at one point, or a similar position. Yeah. You don't want people to go back to that. You want them to go, and again, when it's all said and done, you want to look back and go, do you know what? He was fucking good to me. Yeah. And that's obviously kind of a deeper side of coaching, but at the same time, you've got to hold high standards, because ultimately people you're coaching don't know them. And it's nice for them to know, see, if you listen to me, you will reach these, and you can prepare well beyond that as well. So you never know your path, but you know that if you give effort in it, it will take you where you deserve to be more than anything.
Definitely, and like again, it's very important to put that hard work in as a coach and spend time doing that, because without that, you don't have any kind of like stuff to prove to your clients that you can do it. Yeah, this is what happens when you actually do it. Mm-hmm. For myself, I spent a lot of time training, a lot of time like applying absolutely everything into it. I'm not saying that every single client's going to go and win the Natural Olympia, but like if they put a lot of effort in, they're going to do themselves proud. They can step on that stage. They can feel good about themselves. If you as a coach maybe haven't done that, or if you as a coach haven't set the standards, then who are you to say to someone, right, you need to fucking get up and crack on in the morning. You need to do this. You need to do that. If you can't do it yourself, then There's something wrong there.
And you
definitely.
can, which again, people are bad at in this industry, is like you can lie your way through it. Whereas you'll know yourself when you sit in bed at night.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, when you've done your journaling, you know, people might go, oh, Josh has just excelled today. And of course you have high standards, but if you fell short, you certainly know.
And again, it happens. Like, we're saying all this stuff about, doing this and doing that and taking action. Like, there is times where I'm myself, yourself. Like, maybe we'll be a little bit lazier, or maybe don't wake up straight away and crack on straight away, or maybe procrastinate like a little bit. No one is perfect. But again, somewhat being aware of it, but then taking action is massive. If you're aware of it and not doing anything, like you were saying, like it just eats away at you.
It's making sure the story the next day is a different one.
Yeah. Aye, definitely, mate.
That's the start of a new habit then. And you've got to keep that ball moving. Exactly. We've got to keep this moving on. We are an important part of the podcast that's got a bit of clout behind us. People have been asking us to do some more. We have our this or that.
I knew it was coming.
Josh.
As soon as you said it.
So I'm going to get my phone ready.
Let's do it.
I have created this especially for you, mate.
I like that.
So I have.
We get like a countdown thing on. The timer down.
It's like the microwave coming down, man. Sitting in front of it, waiting on a rustler burger to bing on me. Like, yes. PTSD, fuck, sorry.
They were terrible, mate. You know, I used to love a coconut noodle. See, in school.
See, sometimes the food he tells me that he used to eat, I go like that.
Wild.
What the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Like, it's all shit.
But mate,
rustler burgers and hula hoops.
Oh, mate.
What flavour?
Beef.
Oh, brilliant.
How good are they, mate?
Unbelievable.
Oh.
I actually don't mind hula hoops, but I've just slagged them too much on this podcast to be seen eating them.
You're not like a beef hula hoop, no?
No.
Mate, honestly.
They are incredible. I mean, I've not had them in years, but they are good, them.
Oh,
my gran used to have them all the time. They were
your gran's a goat, mate. That's honestly. Oh.
I think I used to put them on my fingers when I was a wee guy and walk about. And I think I've just got the fear with them now.
Have you?
Want a bit big Ronnie Coleman hands.
You get big hoops now, so you can do it again. You can relive it. Oh, what mad.
Right. Are we ready?
Are you ready, Josh?
Well, how much time have we got? 30 seconds? 60?
60.
60. How many did Taylor get, sorry?
See, to be honest, mate, the clock's just here for effect.
Right, okay.
You're going to or done.
Aye, that is it, really.
It's a lot of shit. I'm not even going to hit start on this.
Yeah, just weird special effect.
Right, well, I'll hit start this time. You ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
Golf v football.
Golf.
Starter v dessert.
Dessert.
Stim versus non-stim.
Non-stim.
Prime versus Atlantis.
Atlantis.
Dr. Mike Israel versus JP.
JP, 100%. I hate Dr.
Doggy versus Dirty Wheelbarrow.
Dirty Wheelbarrow.
Missionary versus Reverse Cowgirl.
Missionary.
Yes!
Reverse Cowgirl, fuck that.
Chicken and Mins. Oh, Chicken v Mins, sorry.
Chicken.
Samson v Hardy.
Samson.
Ronnie v Dorian.
Ronnie.
Trent v Primo.
Oh, Trent, my favourite.
A pint of lager or a vodka.
Vodka, I hate lager, disgusting.
A Big Mac or mini fillets.
Mini fillets, if it's a double cheeseburger, I'm taking that instead though.
Cool, okay. Pit stop versus My Protein.
Oh, pit stop, all day.
Rise and Shine versus Night Night.
Rise and Shine.
Never be able to get a stoner again. I'll never be able to get rid of a stoner again.
Never be able to get rid of a stoner again.
Time machine to go back and a time machine to go forward.
Back.
Right, TNT or GRE?
TNT.
JP's or pro-life.
Oh, we're finished.
JP's.
Yes, man, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. You'd never be
always
able to,
waistband it.
would you, mate? What you got to do on stage, man?
Good point.
Just got to be poking at the top.
On a podcast like, why did you stop competing? Could get into my hard one.
It's not big enough for him to notice it anyway. Okay. Doesn't make a difference.
Oh, what, man? It's like, mate, I would need an ankle soak, man. I know you've got a soak that you cover up for tan, mate, but...
We Tony the Tiger, what a G. Yes. Did you ever see Tony?
No.
Tony the Tiger. So I had a sock, Tony the Tiger. You know how like at the shows they give you the wee socks, or you take your wee sock. I got a tiger and I named him Tony. So
there we go. Now.
He's been on my cock.
I thought you were slagging me there because I've got Tigger for Winnie the Pooh tattooed on my arse.
Do you? Brilliant.
I'm like, how the fuck did these two know about that? Now everybody knows about it.
Been looking through the hole, mate. Fucking walk, man.
Something in the bushes out there. Getting my data for the podcast.
That's you now, mate. You're not that anymore. Everybody that Josh is on trend, man.
I love
if you chose trend.
My favourite. My favourite.
Oh.
Don't want that, mate. It'll fuck your life up.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
It's the fucking colour of that, is it no?
Yeah,
something like that.
Dodgy.
Some carry on that.
Last thing,
Yes.
before we wrap things up,
Yep.
we've got our letters. It's a tradition on this podcast that we and Tommy normally ask each other questions.
Yep.
So when we get guests on, we ask you a question. You don't know about these. So I'm going to read mine out. Tommy's going to follow suit.
I was about to give you it there, but it's because it doesn't matter. Shut up,
I
Tommy.
usually give you.
However we want to do it. So my question to you is, with the maturity you have now, what is one piece of advice you would give your younger self?
We spoke about it already so much on the podcast.
I was
but
going to say that.
it would be to take action. Again, we've repeated it so many times, but whatever you want to do, do it. Stop thinking about what other people think. When I started up my coaching page, I didn't want to post maybe like a physique thing or to say that you should be doing this or be doing that, because what will my mates think? What will everyone from school think? Because I was still in school at the time, funnily enough. But yeah, don't care about what other people think. If you're passionate about something, go for it. And if it makes you happy, go for it. Do it.
Love that, mate. Love that.
What we got?
Having a bit of time opening that there, Tony.
No.
Wrong side.
See, when I ripped that out, I realised my Spanish homework was in the back of it, so I just scrubbed it out. Going to read the question out in Spanish.
What? So, if you could do one exercise per body part for the rest of your life, what would they be? So, I want a leg exercise just as a whole. It's not like a hammy and a quad. Just a leg, a chest, a shoulder, a back. And I'll give you one for the bicep and the tricep. That'll be nice.
Legs. I'm going to go with the Cybex hack squat.
Right.
I love myself a Cybex hack squat. What was the next one?
Chest.
Chest. Ooh. You know what I really like? The hammer strength incline press.
Mate,
I love
that's
me.
sick.
Yeah,
That's sick.
it's like quite a common machine, but I do really like a hammer strength incline, so I'll
First
take that.
generation, so, what do you call it? Hammer strength. The
Uh-huh.
best.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm also used to it as well, because it's in pro life and that's when I started training. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Shoulders.
Dumbbell lateral raise. Don't tell the pure gym.
You're not going to have big cap shoulders
no,
then, Josh.
not like him, because his are fucking massive. No, shoulders. It probably would, from like a muscle standpoint, like hypertrophy, probably would be like a single arm cuff lateral raise, but there's no fun in that, is there?
Aye.
I'll go with the Cybex plate loaded shoulder press.
Nice.
The one that's in, you tried it in Future Fitness.
Aye.
Really
Years
nice.
ago.
It's so loadable as well. That's the fun thing about it. Back like 4 or 5 plates and then you feel like Ronnie Coleman, man. Brilliant.
Back.
Deadlift, easily.
I thought it was going to be that. Biceps.
I'm really liking a single arm cable curl at the moment. That's just a D handle, stand there, you curl. Lovely.
Look
Nice.
there, sit on your phone.
Yeah, do that in the middle of the set at the same
There
time.
we go.
And
Tuck your stoner away.
Make sure it's in the waistband already. It's no poking out. That's the danger.
triceps. Triceps are one of your strong points, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got a real blow up over that.
I'm again very basic, but just a long rope tricep extension. See
Yeah.
the Vulcan rope? That's shit
Yep.
hot.
Aye.
The one that you can lodge your hands into. I say to my clients sometimes, see if they're in like a commercial gym and they've got like a wee shitty short rope, you can buy a Vulcan rope for like 20 quid off Amazon. It's a good investment because
I
you
like
can
it.
use it for years as long as you don't lose it. But
Aye.
I love doing them kneeling.
Aye.
yeah, just a bit of susness about it.
Aye.
Better internal feel. Just on your knees. Used to being down there.
Don't let Josh walk up here with his stoner.
Oh, what fun.
Brilliant. Great.
So aye, let's, on that note, we'll finish up.
Aye, I think we were like. That's been great, man. I've really enjoyed it, mate.
too.
I think, especially the advice you give, I think lands with a lot more people because you're young. So
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes taking advice off someone your age or younger can be good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Obviously, I'm
Definitely.
only a few years older than you, mate, but it's mad to think that you're only 20, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Okay.
Mr. O.
Yeah, buddy.
Crazy, man.
The natty, skinny teen Mr. O. It was actually Nate competition at it. It was a bit of rubbish standards, so nobody ever needs to know that. Man. Pretty much just Mr. Olympia.
Listen, you turned up, you took action.
Yep.
That's it, mate.
That's it.
I think
Indeed.
first of all, got to thank our sponsors as well before we head off.
Yes,
Do
sir.
indeed.
Pit Stop. Again, Rise and Shine is out tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Do not sleep in it. The new flavours are great, and if you don't like, you will like them, but just stick with the peach iced tea then, because that is
We've got
phenomenal.
4 now, don't we? Peach iced tea, strawberry, lemon and lime, and blackberry and cherry,
Crazy,
whatever it is.
man. The flavour palette is just getting extensive here.
You don't need you don't even need the wee metal blender in it.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Bottle of
That
water.
stuff kind of annoys me.
I've never
See those
used
wee
one of
things,
them.
pure clangy. Is there one in this?
That noise. Nah, it's not.
Nah, see, beautiful. It's not. See, when you're waking up at 5:30 in the morning, you're making it, and your dad's room's next door to the kitchen. Gets up and batters me every morning. That's my morning routine.
I made you one as well.
It's okay, Josh. That's perfect. And he loves it.
Oh, what bad. So I shout out Pit Stop. Thank you very much for.
Shout out again, listeners,
Yes.
and a big thank you to you, Josh, for coming on.
thank you for
We
having
really
me.
do
It's been
appreciate it. It's
brilliant.
funny to think that we're making this wee list of all the people that we would like on it. You're now here. Hopefully in the future we'll get you on again,
Yes, sir.
and we'll cover points again, or we'll talk about something a wee bit more passionate to you.
Once I've got full of the gear.
Oh, there you go.
Natural physique coaching, no more. Nah, never.
Oh,
Natty
my
for
God,
life. Definitely.
Stick to your morals.
Yep. Definitely.
Defo, mate, you're leading the way.
Thank you.
100%, man.
And thank you very much for having me. Been brilliant.
Not an issue, bro.
Thank you.
Got to get up and get on.
Let's get up.
Get up.